Okay, everyone, welcome. Usually, I let my son do the beginning, the introduction, but you know what? On this one, I kind of use the age card, you know, to take charge of that because our next guest is a good friend of mine, very special man, and it's if you people haven't noticed, if you've been in a cave somewhere, it's Super Bowl week, and I just figure, hey, let's go down to New Orleans and let's see what's going on Super Bowl week. And who better than the best sports reporter, period. And no, I'm not his agent. I don't have to be his agent because I think anybody on the planet knows definitely the best NFL reporter in the world is the man right there you're looking at with that great smile, Sal Paolantonio. Sal Pal. Um, Sal, thank you for being with us. And it's your 34th Super Bowl. Wow. I mean, does it ever get old?
No, I love it. I love it, Teddy. I'm about a block away from the Eagles Hotel. I'm embedded with the Philadelphia Eagles for the fourth time in their Super Bowls, and 34 years and 30 years with ESPN. I'm the face of the Super Bowl on ESPN. I'm very proud of that. I I try not to take myself seriously, but I take the job very seriously. When I walk around town, people understand what my responsibilities are, and I take that very seriously.
You know, to me, you pioneered sports reporting a little bit. Not just because you're a friend of mine, but you just brought it to a different place in your 30 years where it became just the guy next door talking to you. You know, it became what it was supposed to always be. I remember when I started 30 years ago on ESPN, they used to say, Teddy, just to be you, be having a conversation at a bar, at a restaurant with the people out there. And that's what Sal Pal brings on top of the acumen that you bring in sports, obviously. But you brought a breath of fresh air for me that again it was comfortable. It was you talking to your friends about sports. It just happens that this particular friend, well, he knew a little bit more about the sports, but it was just a comfortable conversation. And I mean it when I say it that everyone I talk to, you are the preeminent NFL report. You are the guy people want to hear. And I also want to congratulate you on your latest honor. I know that you just got induction to the 2025 Louisiana American Italian Sports Hall of Fame down there. It's just another one of the many honors that you've gotten. And I just want to tell you congratulations. Not because of the sports reporter you are, because of the human being you are. So congratulations on that.
Teddy, thank you very much. And as you know, I'm a big supporter of your foundation, the Dr. Teddy Atlas Foundation. And I love being with you on those nights in November. They are special, special nights for everybody, especially those people that you help in need. And I pledge to always be there for you. And here's the thing, the approach that I've tried to take. My friends, when I grew up on Long Island and in Brooklyn, Mike Tamburello, Mike Troiano, Lenny Pilo, David Leisman, all my friends I grew up with, John Fitzgerald, all my friends are out there. I wanted to take them to a place in sports that they couldn't go or they didn't have a ticket to get to. So I wanted to go behind the scenes and bring that to them. And then also at the same time, bring a little joy to the arena like you do. The idea is we're dealing in sports and it's a little apart from reality. It is escape from reality, and our job is to bring a little joy to people's lives. But more important, information now is so important. There's so much money invested in sports, whether it's fantasy football or gambling. People want information. Give them something that is unique, that is different, that can inform them and entertainment, and take them to a place that they can't go on their own.
Oh, you've done that, and, I think that's why you're the to-go guy or the go-to guy because, I mean, again, you're getting the information, but you're getting it with a smile on your face. You feel comfortable. You feel like somebody's not talking at you, they're talking with you. And I think that's an important thing. I think that sometimes that happens and without even purposely happening. I think sometimes it does happen. Listen, your adopted hometown has become the Eagles. I mean, Philadelphia. Let's face it. I mean, you come to the dinner, you bring all your friends from Philly and from New York and from Brooklyn, but man, you bring the best guys with the best nicknames. You're the only guy. That's why I love you. You're the only guy that has more nicknames than Staten Island. You know, your crew, your crew over there. They all got the great nicknames. They're all great people.
Yeah.
Listen,
Frankie
uh,
Smiles, the
Frankie
senator,
smiles.
Vince the prosecutor, George the general. I got them all. I got them all.
No, no, you got them all, and we don't even want to know the background. We don't want to know that. We don't.
Like
We
I
don't
say,
want.
hey, like I say, when my name ends in a vowel, I like to travel with all three branches of government.
Yeah, yes, yes, and the I don't know if I sent it to you, but a friend of mine, an Italian friend of mine, sent me the other day a picture being that it's Groundhog time, right? They're all looking at the shadows, Ponzacati, this one, the Staten Island Phil, all the different ones. Who's gonna be right about when spring's coming late, it's coming early, whatever it was. So my friend sends me one from the Italian groundhog, right? And they asked the Italian groundhog, did you see his shadow? He goes, I didn't see nothing. So there it is. Listen, Philadelphia, you're connected, you're close to that. We just obviously made that case. It's your fourth one covering the Eagles. What is the atmosphere there? Not only we already know Kansas City, they're going for the three-peat. I mean, this is what they do. But what is the attitude now of Philly? They lost, you know, to KC 2 years ago. They do not want to be part of a trivia question. Who was the team that KC three-peated on? So that's extra pressure. I know that most people wouldn't even go there because, look, it's enough pressure being in the Super Bowl, period. But that's got to be extra pressure. What is their attitude? What do you feel? Do you think these things are floating in the air over this game for Philadelphia?
Well, their attitude is two words, Teddy: unfinished business. That's the bottom line. For the longest time, Jalen Hurts had his screen lock photo on his phone of him walking off the field in the red and gold confetti after losing Super Bowl 57 by 3 points as a constant reminder that he wanted to go back to the Super Bowl and to win it. So not only are the Chiefs on a historic run here, but if Jalen Hurts beats the Chiefs, he will also set down his own history. He'll be the first quarterback in Super Bowl history on the NFC side to lose his first Super Bowl, his Super Bowl debut, and then come back and win it. The three previous guys were Len Dawson, Bob Greasy, and John Elway, all in the AFC. So nobody's done it in the NFC, and nobody's done it in the 20th century. He would be the first. It's a tremendous historic feat if he does it. I think after covering this team since 1992, this is the best Eagles team of all time. They are loaded up. They have Saquon Barkley. They've got Jalen Carter. In my view, the best offensive player, best defensive player in the NFL. They have enough on defense with the number one run defense, number one pass defense, number one rushing offense. In the history of the Super Bowl, Teddy, since 1970, there have only been two teams to enter a Super Bowl with the number one defense and the number one rush offense. The 1992 Dallas Cowboys, and they boat raced Buffalo in Super Bowl 27 and this Eagles team. So it's only been two that have had this level of competence on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. So they are equipped to knock off Patrick Mahomes the second. The problem is, as you know, in the fight game, in anything in sports, you want to be the champ, you got to beat the champ.
Yeah, and listen, Mahomes just does kind of what Usyk, the heavyweight champion, for me, what Usyk, the heavyweight champion, does. He just wins. He finds a way to win. Somebody asked me, "What's the greatest quality?" Would you concur with me on this? There with in football with Mahomes. They asked me, "What, Teddy? What's the greatest quality of Usyk?" He's good defensively. He's good. He mixes offense and D. He sets traps. He's got good legs. He's got good hand speed. He's able. He's got a good cerebralness to him. All of that. All of those qualities. But what is his main best number one trait? And I say it very simple. His number one trait is he finds a way to win. Is that Mahomes' number one trait? I mean, with all the things that he does, that he
Well,
finds a
the
way.
bottom line is on 3rd and 4th down in the 3rd and 4th quarter is when he's the most dangerous. Now, Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, is 0-8 when he coaches against Patrick Mahomes. With Denver and Miami, he's never beaten Mahomes. Now, he has a better defense. And the reason why he's never beat him is because he's never really spied quarterbacks. That's not his philosophy. But in this game, he will have to use a spy on Mahomes. Buffalo did it for 3 quarters. And then in the 4th quarter of the AFC Championship game, they lost sight of him. They couldn't figure out where he was. They did a good job of closing off blocks on the spy. The Eagles must spy him, whether it's using their linebacker Oren Burks, their rookie corner Cooper DeJean. They can't let him leak out, especially to his right, when the chips are on the line in the 3rd and 4th quarter. That's where he does his most damage. In the 8 games against Vic Fangio, this is important. He has 126 rushing yards against Fangio. So Fangio has done a poor job against Patrick Mahomes running with the football. And he's got to do a better job in this game, or the Eagles are going to go home a loser again.
What about that Andy Reid factor? That extra week that he get. He pretty damn good. I know Belichick was good with that extra week, but that extra week, I know the stats. You just talked about some important stats. I know the stats of Andy Reid with 2 weeks instead of 1 week preparation is pretty damn good in his favor.
Yeah, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I think Andy's one of the smartest coaches in NFL history. And if they do go and get the three-peat, if they do beat the Eagles in this game, in my view, Reid and Mahomes will go down in history as the greatest coach quarterback combination. Because think about it now for a second, Teddy. We have an unprecedented level of upheaval in the National Football League, of turnover, constant turnover. We've never seen this kind of money infused into the game so that players and coaches can move around at will in free agency. We've never seen this kind of upheaval. We've never seen the length of the schedule. Now 17 games. When you have 17 game schedule and you have this much attrition and this much upheaval, to keep it all together for 3 straight wins in the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
extraordinary.
it'll be the greatest feat of all time for a coaching quarterback.
You
No
bring up
question.
you bring up great points. That's why I wanted John here. You're giving us stuff that I don't think anyone's going to get anywhere else. But I got to let my son go in there now because he's the guy, not me. Obviously, me. What do I know? I got a flat nose. That tells you what I know, right? I know that I didn't move my head enough all the time. But my son, being the director of scouting in the NFL for 15 years with the Raiders for 12. Let my son talk to you.
I think you guys nailed what I wanted to say. I mean, the biggest thing, Andy Reid, right? The record is 21-3 after a bye week. And essentially, with the extra week here, we're talking about a bye week. So, just from regards of the preparation, the schematics, and obviously in-game adjustments, but is that something talked about? Is that in the back of the mind of going up against this streak and that additional week for Andy Reid?
Well, I think there's 2 things, Teddy. I think number 1 is how are you neutralizing Patrick Mahomes on 3rd and 4th down in the 3rd and 4th quarter? Because, their offense, as you know, having been in the division, their offense has changed from a vertical offense to a horizontal offense. There's a reason why they call it a gridiron. They make you defend every blade of grass from sideline to sideline. And Mahomes is so good, and Reid and Matt Nagy, the offensive coordinator, are so good at setting up picks, natural picks, and rubs to get those wide receivers and P. Ryan and everybody else and Kareem Hunt open in the flats and on the short passing routes. And then there's a Travis Kelsey factor. He'll run out 10, 12 yards and he'll sit, especially against a two deep safety zone like Vic Fangio runs. He'll sit in the middle and just wait for Mahomes to move around. So that will move the linebackers around. They now have to chase him. And then he's open and bang, they got 10, 12 yards. And this is an impossible thing to to defend. So you have to figure out, okay, man to man on Kelsey, spy on Mahomes, and zone for the rest of the defense.
Pick your least poison, I guess is what you're saying.
Pick your poison, correct.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And on the other end of it, I want to ask you, listening to you, you said the best Eagles team since you've been following them, right? With that being said, they won it in 2017, came up short 2 years ago with this being the rematch. What is the biggest difference to make this team the best team compared to 2017? Is it as simple addition as Saquon Barkley?
Teddy, 2 words. Saquon Barkley. I mean, the dude is totally special. Not only on the field, but off. I mean, he's kept this team together. They've had a lot of controversy this season. After 2-2, they lose to Tampa. They go on their bye. Sports Talk Radio does a poll in Philly. 79% of the respondents want Nick Sirianni fired. And now he's got him in the Super Bowl. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts apparently weren't talking for a while, according to Brandon Graham. So they had to repair that relationship. The head coach is jawing with the fans after the game against Cleveland at Lincoln Financial Field. That caused a national controversy. This team has had a lot of adversity to fight through this season.
I think, for the Chiefs, defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo is going to be keying in on Saquon Barkley and trying to eliminate the run game, make Hurts beat him more with his arm. I just want to talk a little bit about Jalen Hurts and just hear your opinion. There's so much talk about Patrick Mahomes and his greatness and his mental toughness, but just the path of Hurts to get to this point, right? Benched in the national championship at Alabama, transfers to Oklahoma, makes it to another Final Four appearance, obviously brings the Eagles to a Super Bowl. Now he's back again. What makes him so special and almost in a way just seems underappreciated, at least in this matchup when Mahomes gets so much, love and praise?
Well, go back 2 years ago. If the Eagles win that Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts is the MVP. He had 304 yards passing. He had 70 yards rushing. Their running back in that game, Miles Sanders, had 16 yards rushing. He had nothing. He was
I
not a
think
factor.
Gainwell had more rushing yards than he did.
Jalen Hurts was the entire offense. And I agree with you. I don't think he gets enough credit, but he's the glue that holds it together. If they're going to win this Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts will be the MVP.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I think he's going to have to have success through the air, and A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert and company are going to have to contribute. Otherwise, I expect the Chiefs to, obviously what Spagnuolo does, bring some exotic looks, but you got to take away the run and stack the box and maybe make the Eagles become a little more one-dimensional earlier in the game.
Yeah, you know what? If I were the Eagles, I would throw bombs away. Early on in the game, Teddy, go for the big bomb. Go for the home run. Loosen up that defense a little bit. Tell them, hey, we're going to come out. We're going to keep firing. We're going to get Justin Reed off the line of scrimmage. We're going to make sure Trent McDuffie is covering A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith, whatever he's going to do in one-on-one coverage. We're going to make sure Justin Reed's nowhere near run support against Saquon Barkley, and neither one of those guys is blitzing Jalen Hurts on third down. I would throw it, and I would throw it deep early in this football game. Make them think about the deep ball.
Sounds like Daryl LaMonica from
The Mad
Teddy's
Bomber.
old.
The
Yeah,
Mad Bomber. The Mad Bomber, number 3, Daryl LaMonica. I
Yeah.
love Daryl LaMonica.
The Oakland Raiders. Yes, sir. Listen, Sal, unless Teddy has something else, I am sensitive to your time. I appreciate the hell out of you. I know that you got to go on ESPN pretty soon. You got to go meet with the commissioner. You got to do some interview stuff. You got to do a whole bunch of stuff. I can't let you leave. I'm sorry, without a prediction. I'm sorry. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I like the Eagles to win the game 37-27. I like the Eagles to score a lot of points in this game. The Chiefs only scored 22 points a game, and the Eagles' defense is very good. I like the Eagles to win this game 37-27. I like this to be like, Frazier won the first fight. Ali come back, won the second one. There's going to be a third fight between these two guys. I think this is the second of 3 matchups between Mahomes and Hurts.
Going to be a great matchup. I look forward to it. I might be too scarred, Sal, from my past and too much time in the AFC West. I've seen too much of Patrick Mahomes, and to my father, what he said earlier, just finding ways to win. I think with history on the line here and the ability to three-peat, I don't think he lets this one get by and squander this opportunity. But I can't wait to see it, and thank you again for taking your time. I know you're so busy out there.
Anytime. Yes, I'm on my way to host the commissioner's press conference on ESPN opening night at the Superdome. But I would carve out any time in my day to talk to you, great gentlemen. Thank you so much for supporting my career. God bless you. And thank you so much for being who you are in the community. I can't thank you enough. You're inspiring to me and to everybody around us.
You're inspiring to us? Inspiring. I'm sorry. I'm from Staten Island. What are you going to do? You think I'm going to pronounce the words right? You are inspiring to me, to us. You're a good person. Besides being the best at what you're doing, you're the best person out there as a human being. I couldn't think of anybody else that I would want to hang out with, and have as a friend. And please tell Frankie Smiles I said hello.
I will. All right. Love you guys.
All right,
Love you.
love
Good
you,
luck out there.
Sal.
Thank you, Sal.